I believe that is all we have for announcements. Today's service is on personal sovereignty. And so, what is sovereignty? Sovereignty is self-governance. This sovereignty is also related to spiritual principles, such as do no harm, and I don't know if this is the right word for it, but non-interference. And we've been slowly learning this for years and years in the Spirit of the Lotus. And this is something that's coming through right now with all of us waking up in our personal power and who we are, and waking up to who we are as spiritual divine beings. We see a lot of people, beings that, and this message has been coming through the channel for a while about trying to save other people. Coming through in one form of another, and the vaccine is a perfect example. There's total polarization happening there. There's a group that wants to stop the vaccine and save humanity from being poisoned. And then there's another group that wants to get everybody vaccinated and, save everybody from the disease, save ourselves. So this is a perfect example. So polarized. And so it's in our face every day. At least, I don't know, I see it in spiritual communities too, all over the place. So, even if I see different, there's religious freedom, medical freedom, all these freedoms. But then you also see with this, and that's not necessarily what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss the personal freedom, the personal sovereignty. What does that mean for us? Personal freedom, personal sovereignty means that we as spiritual beings want or have, we actually have this self-governance. We have the ability to choose. We have the ability to make our own decisions. We have the ability to seek, to be a seeker, or to be completely happy with the present moment, or something else, because there's unlimited choices that we have. Freedom, we have this ability to choose. We, as sovereign beings, we have the choice to seek enlightenment. We have the choice to work towards our enlightenment. This is also related. A lot of people like to set goals and resolutions at the beginning of a year. And now is the time when a lot of us are doing this. So we get to choose, plan, and how to manifest is more popular now. It's out there. Many people are doing it. We can say, this is what I want. this is what I'm aiming for, or maybe it's not what you want, but it's a feeling you want to have, or a lifestyle change, or something, some change or experience. So we write it down, we can write the goals, and then we can do whatever manifestation things that you enjoy doing for yourself, what you feel called to. Here we are, and we're in the present moment, making those choices, setting those goals for ourselves in our sovereignty. What does this have to do with all of us? Are we really willing to recognize that we as sovereign beings, that every single other being is also a sovereign being? This is really important. When you see someone that you're judging, is it possible, instead of judging them, to recognize them as a sovereign being reaching for enlightenment, consciously or unconsciously? Are we able to recognize that we are all ascending? And this is where it comes to also a separation, which if we're doing it, if we're separating outwards, we're also separating within. And we've had services on this before called spiritual hierarchy, or that's not what it is, superiority. You know, saying that being over there is not good. They should do what I want them to do. They're making bad decisions. They're whatever it is, you know, like they're harming others. And so then maybe this is the saving part. We might try to go to that being and say, hey, you need to change, or, you know, and we, however we do it, this is like kind of metaphor, we start shaking them. We try to shake them out of whatever they're doing. We want to disrupt them so that they can act right. So that they can act right, because they're not acting right. So, or maybe we sit in silent judgment and say, you know, well, I'm way more spiritual than they are. What is this? What are we doing? What we're actually doing is preventing our own awakening. We're preventing our own enlightenment. We're actually preventing, we're blocking our own realization. And when we say our own realization, our own self-realization, our own spiritual awakening, that is for all of us. So when I go and disrupt another being, when I step into my ego, into my center, my control, my will center, and I want to go over there and say something, do something, or maybe I don't do anything, but I sit in judgment, I'm preventing my shift and I'm preventing their shift. When we recognize this personal freedom, we need to recognize it for all beings. The sovereignty for all beings. And do not judge. You could be looking at someone and saying to yourself, they need a hand. I should go give them a hand. Well, they're not asking. Or they're asking for something, but then you give them something else. A perfect example of this is like drugs. If you see someone on the street that wants money and you say, I'm not going to give you money because I know you're going to buy drugs with it, but I'm going to give you food, And I know this sounds very harsh, but the drugs might be just what they need to reach that awakening, that enlightenment. And that's where the judgment comes in. And it could be whatever, drugs, that's a big, everybody's no. Don't give people drugs. But for certain drugs, giving them that drug might actually save their life. And then that's a judgment too. So when we interfere, this is also related to harmlessness. Some spiritual practices have do no harm. And when we think do no harm, we think don't punch them or don't, really like a physical harm. We don't really understand what is harm, what can be harmful. And this is not just for our fellow human beings, this is for all beings. When we interfere with another being's sovereignty, and this is why the communication is so important, and the pure intention. When we interfere with a being's moment, that being may be about to reach nirvana. That being may be about to have their aha moment. That being may be hitting rock bottom so much that they realize, I need to ask for help. And then they ask for help. And then their heart, this is just one story out of a multitude of possibilities. When we interfere without permission, we could be causing harm. We are beings of light, and we're taught to be the light. We're also taught to ask permission. And we need to be very discerning about what comes as the answer for asking permission. Asking implies an answer. So we're not just asking and then keep going. We need to ask and then receive the answer. A clear answer. If the answer is not given, it's telling you something. Sometimes it can be given so fast that it's telling you something. Where is it coming from? Where is the answer coming from? We always ask for permission before we interfere. And I know from personal experience, sometimes we can get really excited to interfere with something. And maybe we're asking permission as we're doing it, and then we realize what we've done. So take that step back, ask permission, allow us, because we are all one. Allow us as one to really engage in the ascension process together. The idea of leaving stuff behind, it's transmuted into light and it ascends. It's all one. We're all one. We're all connected. So as we move into this new year, as we move into our plan, making plans, our goals, our manifesting our, our movement into this year, we ask that we pause before we interfere, because we're interfering with our own enlightenment. And it's okay, but do no harm. We may not even recognize the harm that we're doing to ourselves. And be the light by take all that will to do other stuff, bring it, go to the inner worlds, the inner world. Every time you want to start focusing out, to go do something, or even it could be a small thing. That's the thing about it. And then forgive. If you do something, forgive and trust. But take that energy and purify, heal, and we're not even healing anymore. We're being the light. We are being that. We are that. And by working with our own vibration, or, expressing our true selves, that is when we truly help others. Because then they see, I can do this. I can be myself, my true self. I can be the light. So bring the light for 2022. Be yourself, be your true, authentic self. Follow your peace and your joy. Relax, enjoy. Allow other people and beings to have their experiences. Let people come to you for help if they need it, and ask permission. And then you may get a yes or a no. So, and it's for all of us. It's not just for that being that we judge as being like, poor person. It's not just for ourselves. It's not just for the plants and the minerals and the elementals. Doing that work right here is for all of us. It helps all of us. So thank you for joining us for our discourse. And now we will do a rainbow bridge meditation. And we did not mention service to humanity. How can we give service this year? We can ask ourselves that. There's so many ways. Sitting in nature and loving a tree is raising the vibration of the planet, and beyond. So we're not saying not to do service. Service is great every day. But it may not, don't judge it. If it's out of love, then you're serving.